afternoon, everyone. I think the session after lunch are sometimes sleepy, so difficult ones. But the thing is that, if you pay attention, the topic is very, very interesting. And I have my privilege to have very established leaders with me on the panel. Mr. Harsh was the CEO for Group 4 Securitas, and I was just talking to him. When he was the CEO, there were 120,000 employees in G4S. Saumya is a very accomplished leader with Ericsson, and I'll not tell her designation right now, that's there, but I'll tell you. And Dev is again HR director, but now the nomenclatures have changed, I've got to know, right? So earlier there was an HR department. Today also there is an HR department. So we were just chatting outside and we realized that HR department doesn't exist anymore, because humans are not considered resources anymore. And I was sharing with Harshji that, earlier, from a very crude example, you see resources as your raw materials, as your, other things which you use to produce your products or services. Or services is different, yeah, but so raw materials are placed in a corner, and whenever they are required, they are used. That's it. So humans are also probably considered that ठीक है, एक department एक cabin दे दिया, उधर रख दिया, ठीक है. But now, thankfully, people are realizing, and the organizations and the leaders are realizing that people are people. They're not resources. So that's why I think the starting of the death of HR as a department is coming. Okay, so that's why you see Saumya, she's head of people business partner. Okay, head of people business partner, not a head of resources. Dev is country people director. Okay, we have qualified it as head of HR still, but I think over a period of time this will also vanish. So he's with Knauf India. It's a German organization which is into building material. Saumya is with Ericsson. So my first question to all the panelists is that, which was I was asking outside also, that how is the specialized coaching evolving within the organizations per se, and how the leadership development is getting personalized. Dev.
Thanks, Ved, and welcome to all the attendees, and it's a privilege to be here. It's a very interesting topic, and we were talking outside also, and we touched upon that now in India the buzzword is coaching. Why the buzzword is coaching? Because now development has started being seen as a personal interest, that if I'll have people who are 360-degree developed, we would be in safe hands. So that's why. So now it is becoming buzzword, but most of you can correlate. If I ask a small question, how many of you have been taught cycling by your parents? Can you please raise your hand? Okay, it means not all can cycle. Okay, you must have realized that this coaching is today evolved in jargons in management. However, when you fell from the cycle first time and you decided I will never ride it again, your parent held the cycle from behind and said, I am holding it, why don't you drive it? Why don't you ride it? Actually, he was not holding, and you were riding it with a confidence that somebody is holding it from behind. So coaching concept is also originated from our own ancestors. However, now techniques have been, advanced, and this has become more relevant for all of us. So it is evolved in buzzword today, but a long way to go when all of us start talking and understanding what is coaching, how is coaching, and why it is important, why it is required. So we have to go long way, and we will talk today about this as time permits.
Yes.
I think Dev, right? So there is a confusion here. On my right is Dev, on my left is Ved. So I was just saying outside that I might get confused with two of you because both of you almost sound the
It
same.
is like they was walking with Vedas.
You know what? Dev gave a very good example. And what I want to hit upon is coaching is all about self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-responsibility. You know, when he said that when you fell down and you looked forward for the support, your father said that he will be at the back and you can still go ahead and bicycle. Actually, the father did not support you. And you still had that confidence and you realized, and that's where you moved into it. So coaching in today's, and especially in corporate organization, it is just used very layman, coaching and mentoring and training. But trust me, coaching is very different from training or mentoring. Coaching is all about asking yourself the right questions. It's not about telling. Nobody will come and tell us what you're supposed to do. You have to evolve from yourself.
Harji.
Thanks very much. I will not be able to comment upon mentoring, coaching, and whatever others. Let me explain to you that I have been 30 years as CEO in my company where 130,000 people were there. Not a single employee left. It's a big statement. Not a single employee left. And 7 years, not a single employee left. And I'll come back to what we were doing. Second thing I'd like to say that I may be one of the few persons who has worked every time in a different company. Technical, I'm non-engineer, but I put up India's first waste-to-energy plant. By saying this, I can't do alone anything. It means I would have done with my employees, my colleagues, right thing, and they would have supported me to achieve this. First thing I would say, any leader should be not having an ego, and you learn from your colleagues. Very, very technical subjects, IT subjects, yes, you need training, etc., etc. But when you involve people, when I ask the ideas of you, all of you, then it becomes our project and we are successful. It's not an easy statement to say 130,000 people. Not a single left. The reason is, my boss used to ask me, are you sending their birthday cards, signing every card, Are you speaking to them, If you interact with your colleagues and involve them in the whole project, then you are also including your training, you are also including your mentorship and whatever words you may. The second thing, how can a non-engineer be in an engineering firm? How can a person who doesn't smoke has been in charge of the largest cigarette company, A leader should be ready to listen to his colleagues. Reverse mentoring should take place. It is not that I have been to a college and I am your senior. That doesn't work in today's context, You have to involve everyone. People will make mistake. You will make mistake, even if you are a CEO or a managing director or anything, whatever position you hold, So for the human resources, or call it by people management function, give it any terminology, is to take the people along, And you should be able to hear what they say. Don't dismiss. Encourage them to speak and involve them. Then only you will get their best out of them,
Thank you. Yeah. So we'll talk about all your experiences, and it would be a very good learning for us from you. So going forward, the first question which comes to my mind is there was always a need for self-awareness to people, but as you said that it's just evolving now, it's coming in, it's the buzzword. So what has changed? I mean, why coaching was not in the forefront 10 years back, 15 years back, 20 years back, and now? Why the organizations have suddenly realized the need for personalized coaching? Dave.
See, a need has been always there. However, as a human, as a people, as we evolved, we continued experimenting on different ways of learning techniques, different ways of developing techniques. Where it is, and when we talk about coaching, I can see a couple of GL Bajaj kids also here. Manju Khatri ji is very close to me, so same, give my regards. So when we started thinking about coaching, it became one of the imperative that first of all, coaching is not meant for everyone. Ved. Now you cannot say that everybody sitting in this room can undergo a coaching. So need came when a person started, achieving the miles of success and achieved the success. Then also there is some need the person, need to practice. So coaching came in picture for people who are almost experts, not the one who are beginners. So this is a new way of, helping people who have reached to a success, to a level. And as I was talking to you, that under the lamp, there is a shadow. The bigger the lamp is, the bigger the shadow is. Now who can go and tell the bigger lamp? And when I say bigger lamp, bigger leader, somebody coming and telling me, hey Dev, I want to develop you. I said, what more you will develop me? I am head of HR. He said, no, there are certain things you are not able to see. So I will accept that I have not been able to see, and then this need has been evolving.
Thank you so much, Saumya.
Okay, I think I'll just add on to what Dave said. Dave, sorry.
Go ahead, it's okay.
Once you say it, it actually happens. So I think there are 3 reasons why coaching has evolved. First of all, we have moved from a traditional ways of working. Leadership style is now not limited to giving instructions. Gen Z, they will not accept it. So it's about co-creating and learning. It's a disruptive world. It's a VUCA world. It's a digital age that we are going. So how does coaching help the leaders to come and transition in the changing environment and unleash the fresh energy, the commitment, and the innovation? That's number 1. Number 2, as you move up the ladder, and it's a known fact, it's a lonely affair. The CXOs of the world, they have a complete different set of challenges. It's not about communication. It's not about decision making. It's about power dynamics that happens. It's about organizational dynamics that is they are struggling with. It's about aligning the team to the values of the organization. It's about how do I grow my company? Where do I make the profit? Where do I put my bet? It's a complete different set of challenges that they have. So having a deeper understanding of their self-awareness, the coach actually helps in the transition. It just helps in the transition to take those decisions and be able to cope with it. So that's number 2. And number 3, and this is my view, effective leadership comes with specialized coaching, which is more through self-awareness. So if you are self-aware, you will be able to take self-informed decisions. When you take self-informed decisions, you will also be able to lead with authenticity. So for me, these are the 3 major reasons why coaching is now. And we have a very good example, or rather I'll take it up later. Go ahead.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Thank you, Saumya. Thank you. Harji, what you've seen the organizations evolve. You've seen decades of corporate culture.
So, first of all, answering your question, any leader, I would say that if he is not confident himself, he will not hire, not encourage his juniors. Anytime, any organization, if leader is confident, he will bring the best talent. He will encourage them. He will refer them to the various programs. He will involve their larger projects, So therefore, it is very, very important that the leader should be very confident, Let me give you my own example, and that is where I'm sitting. My friend and a senior, Anurag Batraji, sent me somewhere for a job. It was a job in the highly engineering field. And when I went for and met the chairman started firing his HR. Why have you brought him? He doesn't know anything. I was to stand up. I was to go out. I thought I'll be able to get that kind of a job. I came back. I said, can you give me 3 months? And I will start your first boiler. Either he thought I am a mad fellow, doesn't know engineering, doesn't know whatever the calorific values of these waste, etc. And he's talking big. In 3 months, I got the job in how many minutes? 15 minutes. It took that much of time to give you the appointment letter. If I was confident, I could not. Therefore, I encourage others and involve them. So my recommendation would be any leader, all of us have to have a confidence in ourselves, Otherwise, if you feel threatened by your number 2, number 3, things can't move further, So that was one thing I wanted to say. Second thing, again, very important because it refers to my earlier communication to you. In G4S, what happens is that we have been looking after the embassies, and I'm referring to the American embassy. During Christmas time, before the Christmas time, they used to have a party with the guards which are deployed there. So I went there. And I was waiting for my chairman to come and receive him. Charge d'affaires was there. Ambassador was to come. And my HR head came. He came and straight away he went to the bar. He was having a glass of whiskey. My boss comes and he says, you are fired. He tells me I'm fired, He says, can you tell me the names of 10 guards who are here, If you cannot tell me the names of 10 guards, if you don't have any commitment, don't have involvement, and your HR head is having a drinks there, I'm sorry, both are gone. In 5 minutes, we were both dancing with the guards, and I had to remember all the names. What it means is, what I am saying is, unless you are involved till the ground level, whatever theory, projects, names, nomenclature, you may use it in the organization which is happening nowadays, which my colleagues have explained to you. This is very important here.
Thank you, Arji. Very, very interesting and insightful. So, my understanding is, I did a quick AI search, okay? So my understanding is that the need for coaching now is more felt because, most of the jobs, mundane job, which earlier used to be done by people, may be done by machines and AI, right? And then the longevity of a person in a job is reducing. So, and it's not because of the person wanting to change. Probably the redundancy, the pace of change is so fast that you have to change continuously, right? And when you have to change continuously, there will be more need of transferable skills, which are soft skills. So, because of the, pace of change is accelerating, there are these needs of, and then the retention is very, very important factor. So you have to engage with people, you have to hold them. So there you need to be more, engaged with them. And so these are things. So my next question to you is, what are the tools and techniques which are being used currently in coaching? Saumya, you wanted to say something, sorry.
No, I'll say it later. No problem.
So a very interesting thing, sir also mentioned and Ved also asked. So before I answer what are the tools and techniques, I just wanted to simplify it to understand why these things are needed nowadays. How many of you understand Hindi? Very few? Everyone. So the concept also correlates, and now people started realizing why these things are becoming so important with people. सारी धरा भी साथ दे तो और बात है. धरा मतलब सारी धरा, यूनिवर्स. सारी धरा भी साथ दे तो और बात है, तू जरा भी साथ दे तो और बात है. सारी धरा भी साथ दे तो और बात है, तू जरा भी साथ दे तो और बात है. चलने को तो एक पैर पे भी चल लेते हैं, दूसरा भी साथ दे तो और बात है. So, thank you. So coaching concept came from here only, that people can walk on one leg or one foot also. But if both are working, it really works very well. And that's why people say that if this guy can do this much of wonders, with 2, 3, 4 steps of coaching, he can create bigger wonders. So that's why. And tools and techniques, which you mentioned, and we were talking outside, and this topic also came. A lot of tools and techniques are used, but as ma'am mentioned, that coaching is not teaching. Coaching is not telling. Coaching is not solving your problem. So, first of all, more than the person who is being coached, it's very difficult to become a coach, because becoming detached with everything and then talking to the person. So nowadays the tools and techniques, couple of them I'll mention, and I'm sure learned people will add more. Nowadays the tools maximum used are exploring. How much you explore about the person. If the person mentions something, wants to tell something, then immediately you don't jump to conclusion. You cannot give the solution to the person. So entire technique of coaching is exploring, asking, listening, attentive to the person, giving a lot of patient hearing. He also mentioned that they want to be listened. So once you use these techniques, then person can, explicitly be open to you. And then the entire objective of these techniques is developing a person who can find their own solutions. So coach never gives you solution. Coach never develops you. You develop yourself. So the two techniques nowadays, which are the key of the coaching, key of the success for any coaching, training, guiding, teaching is a push factor, where I'll push you to be trained. I'll push you to learn. I'll push you to join this training. Wherein coaching is pull factor, where the person who is being coached, he need to have a lot of pull to come to coach again and again. Yeah.
I think Dave, right? He covered most of it. But if you really go to a coach, there is no defined technique. Yes, there are techniques, and I'll mention some of them. But a combination of techniques can be used. One of the most important techniques and the easiest way is the power of questioning. You have to peel it off. Just like an onion, you go on peeling and peeling and peeling till the time you go to the last level, and the person will be able to realize. That's number one technique. The second technique is arriving at logical levels. That's all about creating that experiment or experiential journey with the coachee, where you create a vision for the coachee where he or she can visualize himself or herself as an identity. What's the vision? What's the values by which he or she was operating from? What was the capabilities? What was the environment looking like? And that's where you create that experience and arrive at a solution by the coachee itself. Then there are many other techniques. You can have Disney strategy, and I can go on speaking on multiple techniques. There are stakeholder, there is time shift, there is something called value shift as well. There is a mentor's table where you ask a coachee to imagine somebody, or ask who's the mentor of the coachee. And when they give you an answer, you tell them to be in that position, and then keep on answering those questions. So more so, it's all about exploration and the power of questioning until you reach to the last. And coaching, as John Whitmer says, it's all about unlocking an individual's potential to maximize performance. Nobody else will do it. It's yourself who is gonna do that up on that journey.
Thank you. Harji?
Yes, I would say that the environment in the company should be as such that people are able to speak. I come and take the coaching, I take training, but my bosses doesn't like when I want to speak something of my mind, saying something different. That kind of environment shouldn't be there. You should accept what your colleagues are saying. Maybe there is a merit, may not be that much of merit. Yes, companies are making their own programs, departments are creating their own programs, giving training in technical areas more, and other departments as well. It is refreshing their knowledge, etc., which should be a continuous process as the competition in the market is very large. But at the same time, openness to listening to your colleagues is very much needed,
Thank you, Arji. So we are running towards the end of the session, so there are a lot of questions. But I would like to, pick one thing, that any example, live example, you may not name the person or whatever, but where coaching really impacted the leadership, of a person. Just, for...
Okay, in a coaching, the most important thing is confidentiality and integrity. Nothing can be shared beyond that. But I'll not give an example from my organization, but we all know Elon Musk, right? Yes, no. I think he went through ESS, which is called emotional stress syndrome. And that's the time that he took up coaching. We have a lot of articles on that and we can read it. He being the CEO of such a big organization, CEO, he also required that. And the same goes for Steve Jobs as well. So there are multiple examples where you can go and look into it, how coaching has helped people to create that self-awareness and own it themselves. So I definitely don't want to give an example from our organization. But yes, there have been instances where, imagine a scenario where all millennials are there and a baby boomer is the manager or the leader of the company. Imagine the level of stress, imagine the level of complexities that leader has faced. And we have witnessed this in the organization. But with the coaching, the person was able to evolve, understand what is required from himself or herself for that matter. Do you want to add, Dev?
No, absolutely. So coaching is something, it doesn't stop your success, but it can stop your effectiveness. So there has been, and as Saumya mentioned, it's one of the key requirement of a coach is to keep the trust of the coachee, because coachee, when he or she opens up, they share everything. You guys are very young generation, so you guys must have been too familiar with Netflix, Amazon Prime, and must be following multiple series. So here we are calling it coaching. Mostly in abroad it's called therapy, where people take their own responsibility and they go to where he charges per minute, very effective one. So we go and sit and we open up everything. So and here the person comes and opens up everything, then it becomes a responsibility of a coach. It's a moral responsibility. It's an unwritten agreement between coach and coachee. Whatever is discussed here remains here. But yes, there are multiple examples where coaching has helped. In fact, I personally, in my life journey, I know 3 of my colleagues who became CEOs and are doing wonderful. So that's a very important thing.
When you said that, young leaders managing older guys and, fast, hard task managers certainly face this problem. So I think, in a different context, what was coming to my mind is that, Steve Jobs came and went to Baba Neem Karori, right? So probably Baba Neem Karori was the coach. And then he asked Mark Zuckerberg to go and, because one coach, one mentee, or person who's coached refers the best coach to the other person.
I tell you one very interesting thing, and better interest in time, I'll just finish in 10 seconds. So in coaching, we use an entire word, use a very popular term called instigators, right? So maybe Steve Jobs' instigator was with Baba Neem Karoli, so he got coached there. So instigator is something which is the very important thing in coaching.
Yeah, so I think why Baba came to my mind is because you said self-awareness, right?
Yes.
So that's
that's what lacks currently, self-awareness. And as you grow up, that's where it becomes more and more important.
Okay, so we'll sum up with the last question where, we want to understand and probably tell the audience, how the objectives of organizational objectives can be matched while, the coach the person is coached, the leader is coached. So is there any, format or a framework for that?
With we always get little confused with organizational objectives. Nowadays, a new term, when coaching is a buzzword, the new term is organization's value. So organizations are operating through a value system. So they see at a larger level that this value system is, if adapted by the leaders, they might create wonders, and I will be achieving, because when we talk about objective, then we are talking about success. And coaching is not about success. Coaching is about effectiveness. So once they have identified values, and they try to develop the leaders, as per the organizational values. That's where the organizational goals are aligned during coaching.
Thank you for that. Saumya?
No, I think they've covered it very well. Understanding oneself and then being more effective ultimately will add to the organization's commitment, and the values that you would have, you will align it yourself. So the effectiveness increases as and when you go through the coaching sessions, and obviously it has to be an impactful one where the coachee has to open up. Then only it can create results and it gets aligned. Yeah.
Harji, any comments, closing comments on?
Yes, when we are talking about coaching, there has to be individuals' objective should match with the corporate objective as well in the entire process. It shouldn't happen that I've got a training, I've got a coaching, I've got a mentoring, everything. Organization grows and does not recognize, or whatever reason, they do not match. So all these things in terms of should result for the growth of the, I would say, employees, sources, whatever. So rest you have covered, Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. I think it was, any questions from the audience?
Good afternoon to the panel members. I had a question for Dev sir. So could you please elaborate your statement that coaching is not for everyone? I need a little clarification on that.
So when I said coaching is not for everyone, so I'll just take example from you only. When you started riding a cycle, you wanted someone to tell you how to cycle, or you wanted someone to just stand up and say you can do it.
No,
You wanted someone to tell you. So you were beginner. You wanted direction. But the day you became a perfect, you're a cyclist, and then you wanted to participate in Olympic, then someone may coach you that, hey, have you seen your breathing pattern when you are at this pace? So that becomes need of coaching. But you are learning cycling, and if I coach you and not teach you, then you might not learn properly. So coaching is not for beginners. Coaching is for people who have tried to make some progress or have made some progress.
Okay. So when you were comparing it with therapy, so how can we compare it? Because therapy to is like, if I have a problem, then I'll go and talk about it. So she'll get me through everything, the therapist. यहाँ कोचिंग में तो स्पेसिफिक चीजें आ रही है ना कि स्पेसिफिक प्रॉब्लम पे काम करे. Therapy.
When you start coaching, there is a very different level of trust. So you don't limit yourself on a topic.
Okay.
Because if there is no trust between coach and coachee, the objective of coaching will not be fulfilled. So it is not something that we are coaching someone on maybe how to treat or respect or value others. It doesn't mean if you come and say, I have a problem at home, maybe your leadership is being impacted from the home problem. And if that is sorted out and you know how to sort it out, this problem is not a real problem. You can manage it anyways. And during coaching or therapy, I realized, the problem is not here in the leadership. The problem is there at home, which she is not opening up and talking. So you trusted your coach and said, and then we started talking about that topic. That got managed, and suddenly all of stakeholders started saying, hey, we saw a very sea of change in her. And the problem we were facing is resolved. So that's why the trust is important, and it's not limited to topic when you coaching someone.
I just want to add, there is one slight difference between therapy and coaching. Therapy is always related to the past, and coaching is always futuristic. You evolve, right?
Wonderful. Do we have time for more questions, Riti? Okay, fine. Next time, yeah. So, okay. So, thank you so much, my panelists. It was a wonderful session. Lot of learning, lot of insights. Thank you so much.